where shadows lie. Here they find a brighter sky. Every step, every mile, they're reaching for the American style. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. Factories hum with a steady grace, ideas born in this boundless space. A light bulb flash, a towering steel in every corner. The promise feels real. From the ground to the stars, we're built on dreams, we're raising bars. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for.
Indeed, the grass is greener. Speaking of the grass being greener, on my news broadcast a short while ago, while I was relating the story of what was happening in South Africa, people started coming in and refuting me, which was interesting. Regular viewers, I'm a little puzzled by that. For instance, I talked about debt, and I was talking about debt in South Africa, and somebody said every country has debt. Well, yeah, okay, fine, but that's a true statement, but you need to balance that with a little objectivity and a little bit of context, which I did. Also, I talked about, there aren't the rolling blackouts that we had for ages, but there's still power cuts all over South Africa, and people said there's no power cuts here, there's no power cuts there. Well, that's wonderful for you. That's wonderful for you, but that's obviously not the case, as we've seen here tonight. Mustard Olive Coaching says all evening power was on for about 4 hours since last night. Power now off again. Missed the last part of this. See, there you go. So people, telling me that things are all perfect and dandy when they're not. Just because things are good for you doesn't mean they're good for everybody. That's like the 44 Ferrayas, who are privileged elite snot noses who have life wonderful. Thank you, Yassine, for your membership. Who have life wonderful, a wonderful life. They don't live with racial oppression and persecution, in their view. So because they don't, that must mean that's the experience for everyone else. No, it's not. You can't speak the experience for everyone else, folks. You cannot. Doretta Fundamental says Centurion has plenty of power outages. So again, folks, 2.5 months. What's changed? What? In the refugee program, lots changed, Pat's Pat. We'll get to that in just a moment. Yeah, so I just want to cover that stuff very quickly here. Yeah, it's not good for security on a farm. It's very bad. And having a generator is not a solution because a generator simply is noisy and allows murderers to creep up to your home. Yep. Helen of Troy has an interview this week. Cool. Congratulations. Enjoy your elite lifestyle, Landman family, the connected political elites. You're not taxed into poverty, retrenched, threatened to be killed in a town. Don't talk on my behalf. Exactly, Rex Zuman. 100%. Yep, Tim Forster, welcome to you. KB, Pan, everyone else. All right, I guess, so Pats, are you only here for the refugee program? That's the only reason you come to watch my channel? Okay, that's your prerogative, but that explains why my viewership is so episodic, goes up and down, because as I said, a lot of people are only here for that reason, and that's fine. Okay. Let's see what else we got here that I need to address. Bonnie Duplicity gave a 40 rand super chat. Thank you for that. Clouds are gathering. You're Toys, and good to see you again. Dion Sten, good to see you again. Okay. Good evening, Mohammed La. Good to see you again. Excuse me, I've got phlegm, and it's not from the frickin' Starbucks. I haven't had that in days. Oh boy. Okay, what else we got here? If folk who have completed the refugee questionnaire have received a call. Yes, Andrew, you obviously haven't been watching the program. The next day, after I announced it, after I told people to go to the website, the next day, people were telling me the day following that, after they filled out the questionnaire, they were getting phone calls just like that. And once again, okay, what has happened since, if you haven't been here in 2 months, quite a bit has actually happened. First off, the flow of refugees to the United States ceased completely on September 26th. That was it. The 25th, I believe, was the last flight over, and approximately 400 South Africans came between May 12th and September 25th. The reason they stopped is because, as I said, the government was going into a shutdown, and there was no basis for bringing them over. No money. Two things play into that. The presidential determination, which is really just a letter explaining to Congress, this is what we plan to do for refugees this year. That letter had not been submitted to Congress. The argument was the shutdown caused that. I don't buy that story because it usually comes out in August or September, and it was dated 30 September, and it wasn't released till 30 October. So that's what I was told by many people in RSC and Church World Services told people that's the reason why nobody's coming here, but that was an incomplete story. Excuse me. Gosh. The reality is that there was no money. The government could not legally spend money to bring refugees over and pay for services. Couldn't do that. Couldn't take people to the airport, provide security for them from U.S. Embassy personnel, couldn't receive them on this end, couldn't process them in between because those people were on furlough and there was no authorization for them to be paid and work and do that work. That's why it stopped. Now, there is a small hang-up now. It may have been resolved already, but the presidential determination, which was released in late October, needs to be posted in the Federal Register before it becomes a statement or a matter of practice. So that must occur, but that should happen momentarily. Meanwhile, people who had their flights scheduled for November 19th may or may not be coming over. We'll find out shortly. Some people have flights scheduled in advance. Evan Watkins, yeah, I didn't see you for months, and I saw you earlier. Thank you. Or you were here from earlier. Thank you for being here. So here's the deal. All right, folks. The flow of refugees from South Africa will restart very soon because the budget continues. And remember though, let me be clear about this because people don't understand this. We don't have a budget. We have current spending levels. So the money that was allocated is authorized, but Trump had frozen much of that money. So we would have to unfreeze. Sorry, I got hair in my ear, on the edge of my ear there. Anyway, so Trump would have to unfreeze the money they froze in January for the global program because up until now, the money that's being spent to pay for refugees being processed come over here is coming out of existing funds that are being reallocated from other places. So that might be a snafu somewhere down the road. Right now, it's not an issue, but it could be an issue coming up. So all things being equal, refugees to start flowing back into America next week. Should. There's no promises here. I don't work in the government. I'm just giving you my analysis of what should happen. Next week, we should see refugees coming over here, starting next week. All right? So that's in play. Beyond that, the big news that broke on the 4th of November was that the U.S. Embassy posted a new update on their website, and I did a video about this, and I've also talked about it. We did a live stream about it, so let's just go to that, and I'll highlight some of the things that are on there. So God bless it. I need to put it behind my ear and not on top of my ear. It's kind of just, I don't usually have long hair, so I don't know how women deal with the hair touching their ear all the time. I don't like it. Anyway, so come on, a little faster, U.S. Embassy. There it is. Okay. So this is what the program page looks like now, and there have been major changes, and I'm going to tell you about that. So in order to qualify, it remains the same. You must be a South African nationality. You must be an Afrikaner or a racial minority. Must be able to articulate past personal experience of persecution or fear of future persecution on account of race, religion, nationality, membership in a particular group. Must be at least 18 years old or being referred with a parent. Must be living inside South Africa. Does not anticipate any out-of-country processing of South African nationals. So Here's the important part that you all need to pay attention to right here. This is what matters. If you did a PRM email from February 10th until May 12th, or a statement of interest from May 12th onwards, you need to listen to this if you haven't been contacted. At this time, individuals who meet all the above criteria and would like to be considered for referral to the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program, US USRAP, and who have not yet been contacted by a partner, RSC, or the Amerikaners, to initiate referral into the program or processing of your case should complete the online intake questionnaire. Even if you've already submitted a statement of interest via the link previously shared on this page, if you are still interested and have not yet been contacted by a referring partner or a processing partner to take action on your statement of interest, you must complete and submit this questionnaire in order to be considered for referral. You must complete. So if you've never been contacted, if you haven't gone to fill this out, you must do it. And I will show you what it looks like. I won't go any further than the initial page. We click on this link right here, the blue link, USRAP intake questionnaire. It will take you to a server. And here it is. Welcome to U.S. Refugee Admissions Program intake questionnaire. Before you fill this out, are you listening? Before you fill this out, read the instructions. 90% of the people who contacted me said that they couldn't finish, were not following the instructions. Some people had problems because there was such a huge interest in the program and that intake questionnaire that the server was inundated and it timed out several times. Read the instructions. It takes hours to fill this out if you're over the age of 30. It will take you hours to do so. If you've already been interviewed by RSC for participation by any U.S. government official or by an official referring partner, do not complete the questionnaire. So that's if you've been interviewed, not sent an email, interviewed. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been sent an email, that's not an interview. An interview is when someone sits down and talks to you either through Teams or through Zoom or in person. That is an interview. If you've not been interviewed and you previously sent that in, you must do it. And by basically anybody